In order to adapt to this, there are some things we can see now. We're going to need a new type of creativity in order to stand out in this market. Yeah? Sean Triner from Parade of Fundraising in Australia is one of the best seminars on fundraising I've ever seen. He opens it by saying, the best proposition is 25 quid and the kid gets it. Yeah? Fundamentally, for years, if you don't give us $25, then the kid will die. It's been the strongest fundraising proposition there is. We're moving on. We've had a long time where we've had very simple propositions. We either feed children or save a bird or an animal. I've been able to say $25 feeds a child or £20 saves a bird. And we've had acres and acres of space. We've had 10, 12 pages of direct mail copy to tell our story. We've had long copy in broadsheet newspapers. We've had 60-second infomercials. We've had tons and tons of time to explain a very simple proposition. Can I give you an example of two propositions I've had to work with in the last year? One of them is £25 a year researches evidence to create advocacy and campaigning programs to influence the allocation of fiscal packages towards developing a more sustainable national and international infrastructure which will create economic stimulus as well as prioritising our natural habitat. Which is a bit more difficult to say than $25 saves a kid. Another one is $5 a month helps us empower and build the capacity of local partner organisations to run locally informed campaigns which create local, regional, national and international grassroots movements for political, economic and cultural change in a sustainable manner. So our causes have got bigger, they've got more complicated, the programmes we work on are vastly more interlinked with the way the world works, but we no longer have 12 pages of direct mail copy and 1,000 words in which to explain that. You've got to take a proposition like that and explain it on an iPhone. So how can you do that? How can you engage somebody emotionally, get them to come on a journey with you, explain and evidence the rationale behind those very, very complex propositions, put a call to action, give them the opportunity to ask questions and convince themselves, and get a financial gift out of them on a screen that's 2 inches by 1.5. If I can tell you that, can anybody give me $100? I'd gladly take your money, but bluntly, you can't. Okay? Somebody said video. Yeah? There is some evidence that streaming video has some effect, but most people don't watch it all the way through because of that attention span thing and the fact they have the iPhone on the move rather than static. What we're finding is rather than going straight in for the kill, one communication to explain the emotion and the logic and the rationale and the questions and close the sale, we're now having to take people on a journey. But I have to first of all engage people emotionally. You've got a few seconds to get them emotionally really fired up about something, and because of those cultural changes, we're playing with different emotions. It used to be pity and compassion, but Andrew at the beginning of the day referenced the World Society for the Protection of Animals, and they actually discovered through some real retrogressive work that the fundamental assumption about their organisation was wrong. They thought their donor base worldwide was about animal lovers. But doing proper economic retrograde analysis on 10 years of transaction, we found out they're nothing but they're the opposite. They're quite frankly people haters. These are people who preferred animals to people. Yeah? And what the emotion they had was if there was a communication that showed an evil human being being cruel to an animal and made a fortune, if it was just about a lovely sweet kitten, it never made any money. So the emotion that people were engaging with there was not compassion, it wasn't pity, it wasn't even love, it was anger. It was hatred. These were people that didn't want to kill the kitten, they wanted to get the broiler farm and hold him down and pound him into a pulp. So that WSPA became a brand signature with we sell powerful anger. We make people angry and then they come on a journey to solve the problem. There are other emotions that will work as well. Then we get them in a conversation, get them to respond somehow, anyhow, emotively. You then get them in a conversation to convince them of the validity of your argument and educate them, give them a chance to ask questions to join in with your cause. Then you can ask them for a financial commitment, yeah? And then you can start getting them to do other stuff. Because we all know that people that give and do other stuff are worth a lot more than people that just give. We all know that by now, don't we? Yeah? And that's when you start to cross-sell. Now that's very difficult to remember, so the typical agency type, I needed to come up with some alliteration so you have something to write down and take away and remember. But we're seeing quite clearly cost-effective way to recruit people, particularly through new digital media, to capture them emotionally, converse with them, convert with them, and then care for them.